So guys, don't interrupt. This is one of the first bottles in the world. Yes. In the world is one of the first bottles of Talisman Tequila.
No way, Tristan Tate's just released his tequila brand, Talisman Tate.
I feel like we have to try it. Let's go to the bar and try it, and give me your honest reaction. And if it's shit, I'll still post. I'll still post it. Let's go. The bottle's nice.
Yes, let's go see what it tastes like.
These days, it's not often that you'll see Mr. Mike Tristan drinking. If you hate it, tell me. It's smooth.
Ah, yes, smooth. The word that we use when something tastes like but not quite as much as expected. I have nothing against Tristan Tate or Mike Thurston. I actually admire them. But in this video, I'm going to tell you what the real cost is of celebrity alcohol and what Tristan Tate really thinks about drinking. So let's dive in.
There's no infrastructure, very, very little infrastructure to stop young men going down the path that you went down, becoming a party boy, smoking weed, taking coke, drinking himself to death. No one seems to care about this.
Nobody's coming to save you. I'm not going to be that friend that you want, but I'm going to be the friend that you need. Nobody actually cares if you flush your life down the toilet. Maybe initially your wife or your missus or your friends will try and intervene and stop you. But eventually, as you keep heading down the path of loserdom, they will lose interest, your wife will leave you, and you'll be all alone. It is your responsibility to quit drinking, not the government's, not your wife's, not your friends, you. Let me ask you this question. If you're here watching this video to this point, how many times have you said to yourself, Ben, I'm going to stop drinking, but you continue to anyway?
You're weighed down by everything, whether it's drugs, drink, gambling, sex, porn, money. Like, it weighs us down, it lowers your vibration. So if you've got a low vibration and are addicted to something, your mind can't ask the questions.
Alcohol lowers your vibration. I absolutely love this point, and I'm going to be a bit open and personal with you. I live in a small beachside town in Thailand. My life is great. I wake up in the morning, I drink coffee by my swimming pool, I get to take walks to the beach, I get to work on my business. Life is good. But lately, I've been making a lot of videos, working on my business and isolating myself. I haven't been going on that many dates, and I started to think that women weren't interested in me. Now, the reason I am telling you this is because I went on a date, raised my confidence. I went to the shopping mall, and not to brag, but a woman almost fell over checking me out. Now, the reason I am saying this to you is because normally, when I go in the shopping mall, nobody notices me because my vibrational state is so low, nobody's on the same frequency, so they just don't notice me. Alcohol is the same. It raises your vibration. When you go out, you're all chatty, you make loads of friends, you hook up with women, but they're short-lived. The next day, you're hungover and you're a shell of yourself.
People have a couple of drinks, it changes people. They say alcohol comes from an Arabic word, which is alcohol.
Yes.
The why you call it body-eating spirits. That's why they call it spirits, because people do things of regret. You're putting yourself in compromised positions.
This one needs no introduction. Whether it be getting into a fight or sending that relationship-ending text, we have all woken up the next day and regretted what we've done in the previous night.
On the topic of alcohol, what you were saying is very, very true. I gave this example once. I said, you ever been to a nightclub sober? When you're in a nightclub sober, you know, it's absolutely everything around you. You're looking at every other table, you're looking at the people at the door. You just take in the whole location, and you're standing around usually bored. But if you're a nightclub drunk, if you were to ask anything that happened off of your table, you don't. Because everything, the fun's right here, everyone's right here, and you're having your fun and you're drinking your alcohol, but you have no perception of anything that goes on anywhere else in the nightclub.
Drinking alcohol distorts your reality. This point is crucial because often when we're too busy drinking, we don't realize the destruction that it's causing our life until it's too late. I moved from the UK to Australia when I was 29. I remember on my 30th, I planned to go to the pub with my friends to watch the UFC. Long story short, they went without me. The pub wouldn't let any more people in, and they basically said to me that they wouldn't go and find another venue with me. So I was left on my own. At the time, my girlfriend was just about to go out with their friend, so I stayed in alone and I streamed the fight off some dodgy website. Funnily enough, I was actually hungover, and I remember just sitting there watching this dodgy stream, trying to watch Conor McGregor, thinking, what the f*** is happening to my life? I remember just thinking, it's my 30th birthday. I never want to do anything for my birthday. The one thing I wanted to do was go to the pub, watch the fights with my friends, and they couldn't even do that. I thought, what the f*** is going on? I don't have good friends. I'm living in a 2-bedroom apartment with a girlfriend that I don't really want to be with another couple. I was living a caged life. And the funny thing is, this was all due to me drinking and taking drugs. I had put myself in my own prison. Shortly after that, I stopped drinking.
See, drinking, I drink, by the way. I still drink. But I advise some people not to drink. But I've met people where every time they get drunk, they become an absolute nuisance. And I've said to them, I sat them down and said, you need to stop drinking because alcohol is bad for you. And if you find yourself getting in a fight, upsetting your family, if you wake up the next day after a good drink and everyone's mad at you, maybe alcohol's not, something that you should partake in at all.
I'm not against people who drink. I actually used to say I envy the people who can go out and have one drink, enjoy. But now I know the effects of what one drink can do to you. I don't think like that anymore. I just don't miss it. If you're content with your life and you can handle your drink, then by all means, go out and socialize. But if you don't have what you want in life, as I mentioned before, it's worth asking yourself some serious questions. For me, that's why alcohol had to go.
It's shifting. It's been part of human culture for so many thousands of years, but in this day and age, fewer people are drinking than ever because there's a lot more to do. There's a lot more other ways to entertain yourself than just getting drunk. So
I love this point. Fewer people are drinking these days. For the guys and girls who think people who don't drink is boring, Tristan beautifully debunks that point. There has never been more to do than there is now. In the past, the common man would work all day and he would go to the pub after work to socialize. But today, there is so many options. You can go to the gym, you can go to a run club, you can play pickleball, you can do jiu-jitsu, you can do all of these things that have a social and health aspect. There is so much to do in life right now. Why would you want to escape reality?
It's so easy to then go to the pub. Remember, it lowers your depression and raises your confidence. It's a beautiful thing. There's sometimes I miss it because of the feeling.
It lowers depression and raises confidence. Excellent awareness from the guest, James English, who I do believe is 7 years sober. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. This is actually how the cycle destroys us. When we're not living in line with our goals and expectations that we had for life, it tends to cause us a lot of pain and frustration. The longer we're stuck in this cycle, the harder we believe that it is to get out of it, even if that's possible at all. I know from personal experience, for someone who wasn't where they wanted to be in life, the quickest way for me to avoid doing the work and numb the pain was with drink and drugs.
I was at a beach bar yesterday and friends were drinking and I'm just sitting there and it was great for 2 hours, but then the noise gets louder and it's the grabbing and then it's more personal questions. Like, I like to walk into a room like you walked in, big, smooth, fucking owned the place.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There's an elegant of confidence. Same as when you walk into events, everybody's sheepish. 2 hours later, they've all up shaking their little asses on the dance floor, loud. But speak to them the next day, and I've not got problems with anybody drinking.
False confidence. The other night, I was in a Muay Thai show, and I remember seeing this guy from the UK. He was like the life and soul of the party, throwing out one-liners, people were laughing at his jokes. I was sitting there with my bottle of water, all reserved, and I was just looking at him thinking, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could naturally attract people into me, think I was funny, want to talk to me. And then it struck me. It was because he was drinking spirits. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the gift of the gab or he doesn't have a personality. But I know for sure the next day he will not be like that. He will most probably be laid up, a shell of himself on the sofa. Wouldn't it be better to consistently be like you, not up and down like a yo-yo? People would know what to expect from you.
My real drinking is in my house with my friends. That's when I drink. If I'm sitting up late at night talking to my friends, I'll have a drink. If I'm playing poker, I'll sit in my house and drink. I don't drink in public. I will never be spotted drunk, stumbling out in a public place. I really, really try to avoid that kind of thing because
Tristan doesn't drink to get drunk. I love this point. When we see our favorite celebrities launching alcohol brands, don't expect them to be getting high on their own supply. If you do aspire to be like them, don't think drinking their alcohol is going to turn you into them. Maybe if we're talking about Conor McGregor and Proper 12, it might be a different story. It's like your favorite influencer sharing their 4-hour morning routine, when in reality, what got them to where they are now was probably just waking up in the morning and getting straight to work. Don't pay too much attention to what they're doing now they're successful.
Do you wake up with a hangover?
yeah, I've never had a problem with it. If I go for a night out, I'll drink. I'll still wake up at 8, 9, 10. You know, I used to drink, if I didn't have a fight coming up, I used to drink when I was actively kickboxing. And I'd wake up and do my training anyway. And sometimes you have a bit of a headache or a bit of a dry mouth, but I've never really suffered with hangovers.
What about
No hangovers. Now, I don't believe people who tell me that they don't get hangovers, but I do know this. Most people don't actually really know what it feels like to be truly healthy. They think feeling like crap is the norm. When you start optimizing for your health, your personal life, and your business life, you'll realize how valuable it is to be fully charged, running at 110% every day.
I mean, me and Andrew are in very good shape now for our age. I'm 36, he's 38. We're approaching 40, and we look very good for our age, is because in our youth, we did nothing but train ourselves all day, every day.
If you want to stay youthful, don't drink alcohol. Tristan even says himself here that in his youth, is all him and Andrew used to do was just look after their health and train. That's why they look as good as they do, and they're on their way to their 40s. Alcohol does not only stop you from building muscle, it decreases your collagen levels. Collagen is responsible for the elasticity in your skin and prevents wrinkles.
I could take it or leave it, and a lot of people can't. So I understand why, you know, there's a difference between I don't drink and I'm 7 years sober. It's a different sentence structured in a different way, because some people are just like, you know what, I'm better off without this stuff. I need to quit.
I've said this many a times. This is a key point when it comes to quitting alcohol. When you say that you're sober, you have made an agreement with yourself to build a life that doesn't involve alcohol. When we say we don't drink anymore, we are always leaving the door ajar for temptation. That's what I used to say during my kickboxing days. I used to go into a 10-week training camp. I wouldn't drink. The night I would have my fight, after that, it would all be out the window. It didn't matter if I drank every weekend because I had no reason not to be hungover. As a result, I would go off the rails. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you are interested in more celebrities, I have a video here about Joe Rogan on how he quit alcohol, and I have 13 reasons why he quit alcohol. I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.